fallen for my colleague and friend and need advice? So, I've worked with her for about 2 years now and she is in a long-term relationship, engaged, and was long before I met her. I never ever saw her as someone I might even form a crush on, let alone someone I'd fall in love with. But in recent months, we suddenly started to get a lot closer. Laughing and joking at work a lot, staying behind unnecessarily to do overtime even though we never worked on anything particularly urgent, and even going for a drink together after work on a semi-regular basis and definitely flirting with each other. Other colleagues of ours even jokingly commented on us being like kids who fancy each other at school. But we always reminded everyone that she was engaged and we were just close friends. I never for a second felt that I was falling for her, and definitely didn't think she liked me like that. She has always talked about her fiancé at least once, every day. So I always just presumed she had eyes for nobody else. They are getting married next year, live together now, no kids or mortgage etc., but they've been together for I think coming up to a decade. I did suspect there might be something going on in her head when she started to really up the amount of messages she was sending me out of work. Even whilst abroad for a romantic week away with her fiancé, she relentlessly messaged me and sent me funny memes etc., to the point where she was even messaging me late at night in the airport on the way home. Then one night about a month back, we ended up admitting it to each other over a drink that we liked each other as more than just friends. It was played down as just having a crush on one another, which, it might just be for her, I'm not sure, but there was quite a lot of touching and caressing of hands, but intimate, whilst we talked it out. With her being engaged obviously she looked terrified and very nervous about telling me. I figured the next day at work she would keep her distance and regret ever telling me. But the flirting has continued, the seeing each other after work and staying behind late and going for drinks has also continued, as has moments of eye contact which have just been blatantly romantic moments of eye contact, and as has the caressing of hands and touching when we are alone. Not constantly, but occasionally. Very recently we finished work early and she went home, got dressed up, full makeup, everything, and took a taxi 20 minutes away to meet me in a restaurant near to where I live, and from there we went on a little night out together. Just us. It felt like a date, not like two friends meeting up for a drink. We were both dressed as we would be, for a date. When we were sat at the table in the restaurant, the way we looked at each other was really awkward, like as if to say, what the hell are we doing? I have no idea if her fiancé thought others were there from work, but he knew I was there. Nothing happened other than a bit of hand touching again after quite a few drinks, but we just spent several hours laughing and having a brilliant time together. Anyone who saw us that night would have thought we were a couple. I've now reached the point where I'm dreaming about her regularly, which I've never had with a girl before, and spend most of the day not being able to get her off my mind. And what's worse, I know she is probably going to marry her fiancé and I work with her every day, so I can't even keep my distance from her and try and get her out of my mind. Nor can I approach her with how I'm feeling, because, even if she's feeling the same way, she's never going to admit it and it's bound to make her feel uncomfortable, and I don't want to be in a sexual harassment situation or something at work. It's unspoken at the moment. Like, we both know we like each other. And I think we both probably suspect that the other has feelings developing that neither of us are admitting to. Seeing her every day now and knowing she likes me too is worse, if anything, because I know that if she was suddenly single, we would definitely be dating now, which just makes it all the harder to take. For the record, I do have respect for her fiancé, but he's not my fiancé, and whilst some of what she has done could be considered micro-cheating, I don't remotely expect her to make a pass at me or anything like that. I've tried to take a step back several times from this, and just be a general friend and colleague and nothing more, but we work too closely together to really avoid it. I can appreciate this isn't a popular subject with people who will put themselves in the position of her fiancé. But this is something she is clearly battling with in her own mind. It hasn't just been straight up not caring about her fiancé. Any advice or views on this which might help me navigate it a bit better, Even if it's just what I probably don't want to hear and advice on how I can just accept it and not let this become a heartbreak situation? Comment. You need to stop treating her like you're interested. She's in a relationship and you need to respect that. Think about how you'd feel if someone was making moves for your partner. Stop initiating any inappropriate behavior. If you like hurting other humans in a way that cuts them to the bone, ruins their self-esteem and breaks them, keep it going, because that is what you are doing to your brother. Cut her out and find an available woman, because she will do you dirty too. Our behavior is completely unethical. Stop playing with people and their lives. Next story 2. My friend of 10 years made negative remarks to me. Now I'm considering ending the friendship. I'm give background info since it's important. My friend is a stay-at-home girlfriend with no degree nor career, has 2 kids with her boyfriend of 3 years. I'm child-free and single. About my friend's situation, she isn't happy at all. She's texted me multiple times saying she hates her boyfriend, her life, regrets friend zoning a guy who would have actually treated her right, and even thought about ending herself. Basically, she says her boyfriend is a slob, expects her to cook, clean and take care of the child. But she doesn't know how to cook, which leads to arguments between them. She's also caught him messaging OnlyFans chicks offering them money to meet up even when she was in the hospital giving birth. He also ridicules her in front of his family. I've always been there to listen and comfort her, as I was in a shitty relationship myself, not as bad but I can still relate. I tell her to leave, apply for housing, move back in with her parents. I've even offered her to move in with me since I own a house with plenty of space, but she stays with him. She says her family doesn't know how bad her relationship is and how she doesn't want to be a single mother. She says at least she gets to spend his money and he pays for her new car, but at what cost? About my situation, I was struggling to find work for 7 months after quitting my job at a factory that had mandatory overtime. I had to be available to work 4 hours before or after my shifts plus every other Saturday. I worked overnight, so being told I had to stay 4 more hours when I was already sleepy and tired wasn't it, so I quit after 3 months. During my unemployment I decided to enroll in college for fall 2023. Now a few nights ago, my friend was texting me and I brought up that I got offered a job that works with my college schedule and how I was happy I didn't have to look for work anymore. She didn't congratulate me. She just said, "I bet you regret quitting the factory, huh?" Which I said no. Then she said, "You would have had a job till you started college." So I told her that quitting the factory and being unemployed is what made me decide to go back to college, and how she was no idea what it's like working in a factory with mandatory overtime. I tried it, I wasn't for me, so I quit and moved on to something else. It's that simple. Her remarks just rubbed me the wrong way. I think she is projecting her regrets onto me and wants me to feel bad because she does. I believe she is in no position to tell me what to be regretful about when she hasn't even made the best decisions for her own life. I don't want people who spread negativity around me, and after what she said, I don't think I can view her in a positive light anymore. I'm thinking of cutting her off and going no contact. But I'm not sure if that's too harsh given her situation. Should I just forget she even made the remarks and continue the friendship, or let her go? Comment. Misery loves company and she doesn't seem to really want to help herself. Cutting ties or taking distance would probably only be a net benefit for your life. If you really want to salvage your friendship, you could tell her how what she said made you feel. Depending on her reaction, you might get your answer. If she's defensive or projecting, you might want to hit the road. But by the way it sounds, you're doing well for yourself. The friendship might just fizzle out on its own without you having to break up with her. I think she is jealous of what you're getting to do without the responsibilities she has. I would suggest trying to be the bigger person for once or twice and tell her that her attitude is not appreciated. If it repeats often, cut off. Well, if you already know what you want to do, go ahead. I just put out what I'd have probably done it. Good luck, and I hope it all works well for you.